Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm NP Jitters.
I'm CheerandCosplay.
And I'm Kozi.
And we're back with more things that are basically anime, and this week is one that I've been looking forward to for a very long time. I hope no one has any disappointing opinions for me this week. It's Megas XLR, one of my favorite shows from childhood, helped define me as a human being. All those sort of wonderful things that I can say about it. I already know what some people think of it, so... I'm just trying to make people feel guilty.
I will say, watching it back, I could immediately see why you like it so much, just knowing, like, your taste and preferences.
Uh-huh. Do you want to go into,
Because,
who's, I've clearly seen this multiple times. Envy, this was your first time?
Not only was this my first time, I have never even heard of the show until you brought it up.
Okay, well, which time that
same.
I brought it up?
Yeah.
I have seen it before.
So, Kozi, what were you saying? What exactly about this screams me?
Giant robot, but also that giant robot is, like, doing a lot of, like, WWE type wrestling, which you are very much into. You're also into, like, martial arts and kung fu, but, like the kind of cheesy wrestling I feel like you really get behind.
Sort of. I'm not going to necessarily say that I'm definitely an enormous wrestling fan like some people are wrestling fans. I've definitely watched wrestling. I watched it with my dad a number of times. I glom onto just a few characters here and there on occasion. But to be fair, if you're not a fan of Macho Man Randy Savage, are you a human being? That's my real question. So, sort of, yeah. I mean, yeah, what's not to love? We got giant robots, we got aliens, we got sci-fi action, we got comedy, we got anime references, we got, like, yeah, you're right. This is a whole bunch of, this feels like, I feel like the creators of this show were very much a fan of a whole bunch of different shit, and we're just like, let's put all of it into a single show. And I'm a fan of a lot of those things too, so.
And you see, it was really funny because when we went to put this on to watch for the podcast this week, I specifically warned Cece ahead of time. I'm like, hey, here's a list of things of what this is about. Like, it's a mech, it's got a lot of, like, wrestling, it's got, like, a lot of kind of, like, dumb humor to it. Stuff I know you're not necessarily a fan of, so just be prepared.
But Cece, you liked Pacific Rim, which is basically anime, and it's definitely mecha. What did you think of this?
You know what? Based on Kozi's warning, I was expecting so much worse.
To be fair, we did not get very far in.
Yeah.
I think
I watched the 3 episodes.
Yeah, I think in 2 more episodes, they fight the team from Voltron. And a few episodes after that, it's Sailor Moon.
The gasp. Cece just gust.
Yeah. I don't mean Voltron. I mean, like, the original Voltron. Like, where they had capes and shit.
Yeah, well, I was expecting a far worse show. And then I watched it, I'm like, it's not that bad. It's not exactly my taste, but I was expecting so much worse.
Ah.
I'll give it a light yay. Okay. Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Bye, Cece.
Cece
Envy.
really said, wrap it up.
Envy, what'd you think?
Basically, I thought it was okay. Like, I like the premise. I think the story could play itself well to, giant future century tech in modern day, well, back then, modern day society.
Yeah. My
biggest thing was, I forget the names of the 2 guys, but I don't know. I'm
Coop and Jamie.
I'm just not I know it's been done in other shows and it's probably been done better or maybe worse, but I'm usually not a fan of the characters where their whole shtick is doing whatever they want off the top of their head and just ignore everything else. The dude bro kind of, I'm just going to lay back and just do whatever I want. Like, nothing phases me, kind of, I'm going to do what I want kind of thing. Like, that type of character.
I can understand that. Shaming into the really, really crazy stuff. But yeah, so these 3 episodes, it's basically the origin story. We get to see about the aliens who took over Earth at the beginning, which is in the future, the 3037, something like that. And then there's a mistake with a time machine. A robot's head gets blown off. A robot ends up in a junkyard, gets picked up by some dude in Jersey who's clearly, like, related to Guy Fieri in some form or fashion.
$2.
And for $2! And he, fits a car on top of it. Starts driving it around and Yeah, then it's
Destroys his whole neighborhood, but it's
big
magically
time.
fixed by the next episode.
Every single episode. Which, I mean, you're pretty much right. This is a purely episodic show. I think they only had like 1 2-parter episode, and that was the series finale. So it's as close to a plot as they get. So we had one where they, I mean, actually, like a bunch of Marvel references. I feel like it was MODOK running Mojo World, but it's Bruce Campbell doing his Elvis impression, which is always fantastic. You guys ever see Bubba Hotep?
No.
That's on the list. Bruce Campbell plays Elvis in a retirement home because he faked his death. And he hangs out with JFK, who is not dead. They faked his assassination and turned him into a black man. It's very bizarre. And they have to fight a mummy. So.
It sounds like it may be mildly offensive.
Mildly, but in a fun way, maybe? I don't know. Probably didn't age well, but
Okay,
still.
okay, well, is it Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder?
No, it's an
levels?
actual like black actor, but he's playing John F. Kennedy.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we got Bruce Campbell episode, and then the one with Worf where he's a robot.
I am Regis Mark V. I will destroy all. Regis will incinerate this planet and enslave all its occupants.
Cool.
So I kind of love the the Regis. Like I think that something about the humor of this super serious, genuine threat to humanity, and he always has his theme music playing, which, by the way, the theme music fades in and out as he comes into the scene, so I'm convinced he's actually playing his theme music as he's walking around.
Absolutely.
On kind of like bouncing off of that really quick, where did we watch this, Cece? Where did you pull it up from?
YouTube. It was just a playlist on YouTube.
Okay, the first episode, it kept playing rap music.
Yeah, no.
Out of nowhere, over the top of the audio.
I ran into that. I'm pretty sure they did that for copyright stuff. You have to go to Internet Archive.
Okay.
That's what it was, higher quality, and it had all the original audio on it.
Okay, I was wondering about, what's his name? Regis?
Regis.
I was wondering if that was actually like in there, or if that was like the rap music.
No.
You will all beg for mercy in vain. The debris of your planet will litter this solar system. I shall sup upon your very atoms.
Like, big choir, orchestra, villain music, and then he gets smashed.
Yeah, no, I was wondering if that had been like edited in by whoever had posted it to YouTube.
Oh no, that's
versus being original.
Okay,
the show.
So you did have the fun evil villain music, and you thought that was fake.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, totally genuine and totally plays into the joke.
You are no match for the superior tactical abilities of the Regis Mark V. Regis shall turn this planet into a smoldering memory.
Kind of love it. I think Yin's not here, but I do remember that was one of the few parts that they were like kind of chuckling at. Was like, yeah, no, it's so ridiculous. But he's so small, but then gets big because he is undefeatable. I don't know.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
We kind of glossed over episode 2, but
yeah, I mean it's your basic War World type plot. I mean the main attraction is Bruce Campbell, who I will say does come back at a later point, despite being dropped into a black hole. But I mean, death doesn't mean anything in this show.
Yeah, how can you get rid of him?
Yeah, no, you
His
definitely want to.
name was like Megamind, right?
Magnanimous.
Metamucil.
Mega, just big head.
Yeah, like that.
Tiny little legs. Now, he comes back, and I'm pretty sure he brings a robot who's pretending to be Mr. T. So, If you're a fan of basically anything, there's an episode here for you. Somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think here. What to talk about?
The fact that the main character, for all intents and purposes of being a dumb idiot, is probably one of the smartest people in recorded human history because he's able to work with modern technology on a 3000 level Gundam and repurpose it to be whatever the hell he did with that.
I'm going to throw it out there. Not the craziest thing you would think, because, like, my dad did, like, mechanic work, and I've known some other mechanics. They can do quite a bit that you're like, how did you make that work,
Hey, when in doubt, duck it.
It happens.
Like, I would imagine the core mechanics of it don't change much.
No, yeah. Yeah, he mostly put the...
But he also definitely didn't know what all of the wires did when he hooked them up to the buttons in the car.
Yeah, I think he mostly just had to know how to set up a couple wires to do input work, and then basically figure out what each of... Because even he doesn't know what they do when he gets in the car the first time. That is interesting to think about.
His voice was driving me crazy. I'm like, what do I know this guy from?
He's the dad from Wizards of Waverly Place.
Russo,
Yeah.
the dad from Wizards of Waverly Place.
He's Dom DeLuise's kid.
Sure.
Does
I
no
do
one
wanna
care about
know.
Dom DeLuise?
Who is
I've
that?
heard the man. I've never seen much of his stuff.
Oh, you're missing out.
My dad knows. My dad knew him, but
Okay, has anyone ever seen An American Tail? Fievel?
Maybe.
Oh my god, how many things do I have to put on the list
Might.
today?
Yeah.
You haven't seen it?
I might have.
You're gonna
It's
give
been a
me...
very
we
long
need to
time if I
move
have.
on because you're gonna give me anxiety.
We own it. Okay.
Yeah,
fair.
so
Can we get an episode on Coop's bunker of a basement that was hiding Megas?
oh no, we never covered that. Doesn't matter.
I want to see. It matters to me, Al.
This is one of those things like this is just one of those worlds where it's like, don't think about it. We're clearly not, and neither should you. So,
But I'm thinking about it.
I mean, here's the thing, because I feel like I forget what we were talking about in the past couple weeks, but we brought up, I think, Envy, you brought up Jimmy Neutron and the whole, we're flying through space without spacesuits or anything like that. It's the same sort of principle. How does a car, a convertible no less, which is probably less like of an airtight seal than a regular car, carrying them through space? Yeah, it's not happening. I don't know. This is not going to work for everybody. But to me at least, the show really runs on the whole like rule of cool element. If this is crazy enough and cool enough, yeah, people aren't going to care that it doesn't make any fucking sense. And it at least worked for me.
I will admit I fell asleep during episode 3.
Oh.
So I have not discussed this with Cece, but I do believe the episode in my heart had to have ended with they gave the strawberry ice cream to Jerry and he became good and friends because the strawberry ice cream was that good.
Jerry?
And you can't tell me otherwise.
Do you mean Regis?
Not Jerry, Regis. Yeah, sorry.
Who's Jerry? I'm like, yeah, okay.
Jerry,
So-
where did you get Jerry?
Brain go.
There probably is someone named Jerry in this show somewhere.
Regis. Okay. He gave Regis the strawberry ice cream.
It was
And
a Slurpee, not an ice cream.
It was a mega slush. Get your branding right.
Brain go. Brrr.
Yeah.
Okay, Slurpees
Did you
are
have-
like Kleenex. Any slush is a Slurpee.
Okay.
No.
He gave Regis a strawberry Slurpee, not slush, and Regis became good and friends because it was so good. And you can't tell me that's not how it happened.
Then I won't. That's perfectly fine. How many times is it now that Clancy Brown has come up in one of these shows? It feels
I
like...
mean, he's a prolific voice actor.
Yeah, but how many times in the last couple of weeks? What did we watch last week?
Jackie Chan.
Jackie
Yeah,
Chan.
Jackie Chan.
He was the guy who was the head of the organization. What was it before that? I'm forgetting. But I know we brought him up a few times. And Kevin Michael Richardson, who's in here as well.
I mean,
I
we
think
watched Teen
before
Titans
that was
before.
Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what he may have voiced a character in Teen Titans. I just can't think of what.
No, he definitely did. But yeah, so those are the two main aliens that. Yeah, so Mr. Krabs is the head of an armada now, which is fun. And yeah, so we mentioned David DeLuise, Wendy Lee, and Steve Bloom from Cowboy Bebop fame are playing the other characters, which is fun. I'm trying to think of. I mean, we mentioned Bruce Campbell. I forget who's the actor who played Worf from Star Trek.
You would know that more than me.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong people.
Michael Dorn.
I can ask Google.
Yeah, Michael Dorn. That's him. That was Regis. It's one of those shows where, like, every other episode they sneak in yet another, like, person you really don't expect every now and then. And, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
For a show that got
remember.
almost immediately put on
Oh, yeah.
the Skeleton Hour to,
Yeah.
like, die, it had so many big-name actors on it.
I mean, it could be for a number of reasons. It could have just been like they were connected to people who just like I work with this person, like, hey, do you want to come in for like to do 10 minutes of a thing or do this or do that? And like sometimes you have other times where it's like people are like, oh, this show seems like so much fun. I want to do this. I don't know which it could have been, but I'm trying to look because there was an episode where they went to a Transformer planet and they pissed off every Transformer on Cybertron, and I'm trying to see if they got Peter Cullen to voice an Optimus Prime knockoff.
Al, you would probably know better than me about this. I know we were discussing it. I don't know if it was on recording. How this show really just got pushed to the wayside with its time slots, because I believe you were under the impression, like, Season 1 at least had a decent time slot.
I remember
But when I had looked it up.
I'm not going to say for sure when a lot of the episodes were premiering, but I do remember it being part of a lot of the Saturday night blocks. Or, like, I don't think they were doing Toonami at that time. It was something else. But I do remember... No, I do remember this on Toonami. I remember Peter Cullen announcing that it was going to be on Toonami.
I don't remember about reruns or anything, but it didn't even make it all the way through the first season before it got put to the 2 a.m. time slot.
Yeah, they really shit on this thing, which I know I'm biased because I really enjoy it, but I don't know. I feel like they could have let this thing have a bigger audience.
It wasn't that long.
No, it's only
I think all 3 seasons had already been, like, greenlit, so there was no reason to try and kill it on arrival.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's only 2 seasons, but yeah. Yeah, if they were going to give it a 3rd season, they clearly did not. If you guys want, we could talk about how this thing ended up getting, like, the TV show, because it's actually kind of shares a history with a lot of the other stuff on Cartoon Network and a lot of other shows that kind of, like, came out of... do you guys... I don't know if, like, you guys would have remembered the Cartoon show?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was sort of like we're going to launch a bunch of pilot cartoons as shorts in like a half-hour block here and there. And it launched a lot of the other shows. Like their first episode was Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab. And then Johnny Bravo came after that, and there was a couple others. And I know later on they had Codename Kids Next Door, Billy and Mandy, this, and there was a few others. But like I know that I think starting in 2000, they started to do this summer block thing where they're like, hey, vote on which one was your favorite short, your favorite pilot kind of thing. You, the kids, can vote, and we'll make it into a series. And that I think the first winner was Billy and Mandy, and then Codename Kids Next Door. And I think this one got greenlit in 2002, and then came out in 2004. So, honestly, I kind of wish they would do something like that again. I mean, to some degree, you do kind of see this nowadays, but more with like Kickstarters, and it's far more of an independent thing, and the network's just sort of like, yeah, if you raise all the millions of
Yeah.
dollars yourself, we'll do it.
Like, look at like Has Been Hotel.
Yeah, that's finally, when is that?
Like,
That's coming out soon, right?
yeah, I think the second week of January
Damn, well, there you go.
on Amazon.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that's the modern way of
But
doing
like,
it. Yeah. Go ahead.
it was so popular, but it got passed to like so many studios.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, this one did as well. I don't know if you guys noticed. I think in every single episode, they bust up either a satellite or an advertisement or something for a thing called Pop TV.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because they originally pitched this to MTV to be one of their cartoons, because there was a lot, because they were doing some animation stuff in the early 2000s. They basically told them to fuck off. So they're like, yeah, you know what? Whenever we get this thing greenlit, we're just going to make fun of MTV the whole time. How about that?
Like they didn't even like try to hide the logo. Like it was
No.
blatantly MTV.
I like the third episode, I think it was, that they throw Regis into a building that literally says outside, this is a completely empty building. No one's going to get hurt by this. And then it immediately falls out of it and then smashes a Pop TV sign. Like, I kind of love the petty vindictiveness of that running joke.
Absolutely.
I actually, the pilot, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if anyone noticed that there were like little changes in animation at all. That
Yes.
yeah. So the pilot essentially became the first episode. They were both called Test Drive. Originally, the show was going to be titled like Lowbrow, which makes sense, I guess. But at the same time, yeah, I think naming it after the robot was a little bit better. Yeah, you can kind of see anytime that Coop no longer has the whites in his eyes. Yeah, that's the old animation. I think.
Yes, that was driving me bananas.
Yeah, that's the reason for that. Mostly, I think, if I'm remembering everything correctly, the original pilot started with him just revealing the robot. We don't get the backstory with the future or anything like that. They set up the robot. They set up, oh, what are we going to do with this robot? And then Kiva shows up. It was a much shorter fight scene. And then the Glorf show up. And then it was also a much shorter fight scene for there. Everything's blown up. The Pop TV thing was still a thing, I think. And then they went and got burgers. And it was like 8 minutes. And then they were like...
Envy. How would you have felt if that is what they had done? No backstory, just jumped into this guy, pulling a robot up out of his garage.
I think we know he'd hate it, wouldn't you?
It depends. If it's like an in medias res thing where they go back and explain it later, then maybe that's one thing.
I guess they were like, you know what, we might as well give a somewhat more of an explanation than what we give in our pilot. But I kind of understand why they didn't want to do the whole future backstory thing. And they were just like, hey, we know what this is going to be about. We know this is about, we're going to be smashing stuff. We're going to be giant robots fighting. Let's just get to that as quickly as possible and not worry about any real drama, because there's not going to be.
I feel like there was drama with Jamie and Kiva later on.
Yeah, in like the very end of the series. But like, well, there was the one Terminator episode, but I think that was more Kiva was terrified of the possibilities than I don't know, any feeling she had towards him. Is it? First off, I just want to know, because I might just start going into other plots in that. Is anyone going to watch any more of this?
Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like watching it back, I remember why I liked it, but like as an adult, it no longer appeals to me.
What a shame. I never grew up out of being a kid. The Terminator episode, the Glorf try to find Kiva's like ancestor in the present day and kill her, a la Sarah Connor. And she's got the hots for Jamie for some reason, and Kiva is horrified at that prospect. So that was fun. They have a Mecha Godzilla episode where they make a Mecha Megas, which is a bit of an oxymoron since Megas is already a mecha. Two things with the Voltron people. I mentioned Sailor Moon. I mentioned the Transformers. There's an episode with a Halo ring world where they're beating alien worm moths. Magnanimous comes back. What else? There's the evil reverse mirror dimension with
I'm
Evil
sorry, what
Coop.
was his name?
Maggie Moose. Mega Maga.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know who that guy is. I don't know who Magnanimous is.
Big head. Tiny little legs.
I don't know who Magnanimous is. I only know who Metamucil is.
Metamucil, yeah. The Glorft are constantly a thing, so that's fun. They break an intergalactic prison open. Hang on. Gotta look at my episode list here. And they take Megas to a car show. There's a Thanksgiving episode where I think an evil alien takes over the Macy's Day balloons and they have to fight them. Oh yeah, the Mecha Megas thing. Jamie borrows the car, so they have to go analog for controlling Megas, which doesn't work out well. Junk Planet.
Do they ever get to the future?
Hell no. That probably would have been in a later season. They're never getting to the future. That's the whole point. The Department of Motor Vehicles.
Humanity's doomed.
Oh yeah, humanity's definitely doomed. You have to babysit Coop's cousin, and they go to the moon. They invade Area 51. They get sucked into Captain Harlock, an entirely different anime. An ice world is being attacked by other Transformers.
I will give it credit. You could definitely tell that this was American.
Oh yeah. Wait till you get to the Area 51 episode. The Area 51 robot is the most, 50s nationalist,
Now you will be locked away to rot as I was, while I fulfill my programming and destroy the enemy.
Enemy? What enemy?
Everything is the enemy.
Basically like Fallout. I'm pretty sure Fallout was popular at the time of this. When did Fallout New Vegas come out?
Oh, not until 2010.
Really?
Yeah.
Fallout 3 came out in 2008, and Fallout New Vegas came out in 2010. The original two Fallouts came out in the late 90s, but
They were
They were
not as
different.
popular, yeah. It was like a completely different system of play.
yeah.
I guess Fallout Brotherhood of Steel came out in 2004 for PS2 and Xbox. I don't know. It just gave me Fallout vibes. It might not have been based on that even remotely, but...
Do you know how, in Japan, they're, really huge on King of the Hill? They're it's a masterpiece of American animation.
Yeah,
I feel like they
Yeah.
need to get in Megas XLR.
They need to... You think Japan needs to get into the show?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I could... Here's the thing. Japan created the mecha genre, basically. What... I mean, this... Don't get me wrong. I love this show, but I feel like they got more than
Because they
enough.
want the American take on things, which is why they like King of the Hill so much.
I guess so. Maybe.
I mean, you forget King of the Hill is the greatest anime of all time behind Cory in the House. So.
That's that's true.
You can't forget Cory in the House.
I got to be real with you. I've watched the Japanese dub of King of the Hill. They do not capture the whoa very well. They just can't.
Oh yeah, there's
just can't be done the
huge
same way.
debates about whether you watch it dub or sub.
We can watch it in English, so we're fine. But I think if we have any viewers in Japan, watch it sub. It's better. I hate to be a purist.
Why would they
but-
want to watch it dub if they can watch us and understand us?
That's true, but you know what? I need to look up, see what they did with Boomhauer in Japanese. I feel like that'd be interesting.
Oh yeah.
よタバコなんてやめろよ。お前のそんな格好見てると薬中みたいに見えるぜ。それに吐いた煙のニコチンでこっちが頭痛くなっちまう。なあ、もうやめろってばよ。
Like,
That is quite an accent to try and replicate.
I mean, not even just as an accent, just as a speaking pattern. How would you make that work in another language? We're gonna have to look that up later, but I don't know. I digress. I think
there is a lady who does a really good, yeehaw Japanese. I forget what she called it.
Konbanwa. Madoka-san, el Yankee desu ka? So desu ka? Baka no Yona Inoi. Era.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe we look at the Japanese version of King of the Hill at some point, see how they translate everything, and I don't know what the subs would be like, but if we English speakers watch King of the Hill in Japanese with English subtitles, what would it be like? This is, you know what? This is a great experiment for later.
I think if we did that, we would have to compare it to the English dub then.
I mean, in high school, my senior year, we watched The Lion King in Spanish with English, with no subtitles, so that was an experience. Basically, the assignment was to translate certain parts of the movie. So basically, all of us in our class was like, okay, muscle memory, this movie from our childhood. What was the line? What was the line? What was the line?
I think some movies, if they're kind of over the top enough in English, if you switch them into Spanish, they do become Spanish soap operas. And they are very entertaining. I remember I wasn't in the band in high school, but I was part of the video group club thing. And I did get to go with the band to Florida for the Disney trip thing that they did. And the room that I was in at the hotel, we were all up late. And it's Florida, so they have some Spanish TV down there. We just started watching Spanish soap operas all night. No subtitles, no nothing. We had no idea what the fuck was going on, but people were slapping each other left and right, and they were very pretty women. And we were just like, you know what? We're into this. I have no idea what's going on, but I am locked in. Good times. As is this show, at least in my opinion. I guess other people are lukewarm on it at best, but you know what? More for me, I suppose. To be fair, I think Cartoon Network was lukewarm on this at best, and it was one of the first shows that they famously wrote off for tax reasons that they seem to be wanting to do a lot now, and other people are starting to do the same thing. So, great on you guys for coming up with that strategy. Fuck.
Elle, you watched it with Yin. Like, how are they feeling by the end of the 3 episodes?
I think they enjoyed it. I think like you guys, I don't know that they want to like watch a ton more of it, but I think they got at least what I enjoyed about it. So, you know, at the very least, I feel seen. So, that's something.
Yeah, we can all look at this and be like, yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. Suddenly your personality and everything about you, we get it. We don't like it, but we get it.
I feel like "don't like" is like a strong word. Like, it's okay. It's just like not our thing.
No, I get that. It's one of those. I know I started very strong on this episode. If you don't like this, that's just going to kill my soul. No, I'm well aware that I'm a fan of a number of things. That's like I understand why people aren't into certain things, but at least people can understand why I am into some stuff.
Like, I definitely see the appeal of it. It is just not something that personally appeals to me.
Yeah, I get that. To be fair, I think that later episodes are better than these ones. Because I think, not necessarily like the show changes in any drastic sort of way. I think they just get better at doing what they're doing here. And the jokes get a little bit funnier, the action gets a little more interesting, you know. But that'll come with any show over time. So
I was not expecting Menomina to be like episode 2. Like, I thought that happened way later.
He does come back later, and I'm going to say that it's probably a little bit of a better episode because now he's on a vengeance trip and he comes to Earth. There's like other than Mr. He like brings a whole bunch of his wrestler buddies, and each of them has a personality. There's one dude, honestly, it's kind of a repeat of the Regis joke, but he's like a matador, and he has a Spanish guitar play every single time he like shows up, like Puss in Boots, and he keeps getting his ass kicked. Yes, exactly that. And he always has like some sort of big speech, like, I am going to defeat you, blah, 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 and then he immediately gets his face caved in. It's, yeah, Mr. T's being Mr. T. I don't think they actually got Mr. T, but still.
No, they can be like Jackie Chan and find Mr. T's most famous impersonator
Yeah.
and hire him.
I like the premise of that. God, it really is the Regis episode because, yeah, Magamoose is doing all that. Meanwhile, what Coop's actually interested in is getting a videotape back to the video store before 5:30, and they reject his membership. Like,
Yeah, oh god, that really dates the show, doesn't
oh
it?
god, remember when Blockbuster was still a thing? I mean, technically, isn't it still a
yeah.
thing? There's still one up in Alaska.
In Oregon, yes.
Yeah.
Oregon. Okay, we could go there if we wanted.
But just like the sheer terror of like, gotta get this back in time. Can't get those late fees.
No, they were going to reject his membership because he had so many late fees before. He was like on a 3-strike policy. So it's even worse. He's going to have to go out to Hoboken.
Yeah, but that's Hoboken.
I don't know enough about New Jersey to say whether Hoboken's bad or not. I don't know. I feel like I say this a lot, but I might have to go back and watch the rest of the series again just for my own amusement.
Was Hoboken the guy at the junkyard?
No, that was, Skip. I want to say Skip, but I don't think I'm right on that one. Hang on.
I thought that's what they say in
Tekken. Yeah.
Tekken.
What the
No,
heck was
you're
his
thinking
name?
of
What was it?
you're thinking of Street Fighter with Hadouken.
Shh. No. Shh. Let her have it. Let her have it.
I was gonna say Street Fighter, and then I was like, no, it's the other one.
Yeah, it's Hadouken.
What?
That's the main move that Ryu and Ken do.
Shh. Let her have it.
Goat was his name. What was I thinking? Why was I thinking like Spud?
Spud.
What is it?
Goat. The guy, he bought it for $2.
And never got his $2.
Yeah. What was his name?
His name is Goat.
Goat?
Goat. I don't know. He works at a junkyard. Goats eat trash.
Yeah, checks out.
He was my favorite. Like, upon rewatch, I know Jamie gets better, but like, his character really like grated me.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because I remember like growing up, like I thought he was the cool one.
Oh no. Not even even back in the day I knew he wasn't cool.
Well, no, neither of them are cool. That's kind of the point, but
Yeah.
like I thought he was the cooler of the two.
I kind of see, like, as a kid, maybe you're thinking that. I do like that one joke that they had where I mean, it comes up a lot that Coop and Jamie don't understand the high science stuff that's going on, but that one joke with he's in high school, it's like, one day you're going to have to know what a quantum singularity is. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I did like that one.
Is that
And
bad?
then it actually happened.
Comic book backup. Or no, it was a book about cars.
Yeah, it was about hot rods and stuff. Of course it was.
Same energy as in Ender's Game when they're like, come on, people, this is basic rocket science.
I'm trying to think. Do you want to give like a little bit of a shout out? I don't know if anyone was enjoying the music or not, but I think if I'm remembering correctly, there were a lot of different throughout the 26 episodes that they had a bunch of different tracks made from a bunch of like independent and like for the time current bands that were like in New Jersey at the time that were just like, yeah,
it was hard to
make a thing.
tell. It was hard to tell what was official and what wasn't.
Yeah, I say again, if you wanted to, I think you could like look on Internet Archive because they got the good shit. But I remember finding a playlist of a lot of these. Like they had like 130 different songs that they used in this show. A lot of them, I mean, some of them were like instrumental stuff. They have like some of the battle music that's a little more like traditional, like sci-fi kind of stuff. But then a lot of the just general background music and a lot of the other like more guitar and rock centric soundtrack. I think a lot of them came from like a bunch of independent bands that like the creators just like knew about and they were like, hey, let's see if we can get them to do a track for this. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I think they did a great job with the music. Even if Cece did hear the theme song and was like, that's a little on the nose, isn't it?
I
Even
feel like
for theme songs are supposed to be on the nose, but this took it further.
I feel like the whole show's very on the nose, if we're being honest
Yeah.
here. There's not a whole lot of
I-
we're going to interpret what's happening.
I feel like the theme song holds up really well.
Oh no, I enjoyed it.
Chicks dig giant robots.
Now, just imagine if you saw Pacific Rim with that theme song. Wouldn't that be great?
Somebody's had to have made it.
They have, I'm sure.
This has to be an edit somewhere.
Yeah, I'll find it for you guys. I'll put it in the chat or whatever. But yeah, any other thoughts that we have on this before we head out for the last one next week?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I don't know about anybody else. I'm definitely a yay.
I'm a meh.
I'm a light yay.
I'm also a light yay. Like, not for me, but like, there's nothing overtly wrong with it. Like, if it sounds like it's your cup of tea, you're probably going to really enjoy it.
Yeah, I definitely did. I'll say I think Yin was a bit of a meh, though I will say I did see them chuckle at some stuff, so, you know, hope is hope. Anyway, yeah, so if you have my taste, you'll enjoy this. If you don't, I guess look elsewhere. But I think next week will be to just about everybody's taste, because I feel like this is one of those cartoons that ends up always being considered like one of the best that was made at any given point in time. Yeah. So next week,
yeah, this wasn't my first time I ever saw it or anything.
Yeah. So next week, oh, Envy, you'll love it. There's going to be an origin story as well. Next week, we're watching Samurai Jack to finish out the year, because if anything's basically anime, it's Samurai Jack. Then, yeah, coming back next week, do that. We'll let you know what we're doing in the coming year, and God, this year's almost over. Holy shit. Well, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series, Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!